Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Propagandacast with me, Imperial Dane, and today I have for you a 1 vs 1 on Beaux Lowlands. Yes, indeed, we are going to have a short trip through the lowlands, skipping and dancing and shooting at whoever's on the opposing team. So then, let's go have a look at our opponents. We already know the map for the most part, I hope. If not, here's a quick detailed description of it. Well, not too detailed, of course, we don't want to spend too long, but long winding road. We have this river which crosses through another way in the map, sort of creating two natural front lines, although the river does seem to be the one that's mainly chosen. We have some medium yield fuel points and victory points at either corner, and right in the middle of everything by the bridge we have the third victory point, which is also the one that's harder to hold since there's a devil of a lot of paths going to it, and the other ones of course also spread out, meaning of course you can't just block down in one place and just defend both victory points. You actually have to sort of think about how you want to defend. You might want to create reserves, you might want to create blocking positions, who knows, but you have to put in some efforts to actually hold more than one victory point, and of course also some resources, which of course also gives you some decent chance in coming back if you know what you're doing, that is. And let us go have a look at our opponents. In the northern half we are having Ix1ion, or Ix1ion, I cannot say. His name is a mystery, but nonetheless here he is. 3rd Panzer Division, holding the lines here in the lowlands. And who shall the 3rd Panzer Division led by Ix1ion be facing? It shall be Jeesusofdeath. Now that's not the nicest of Jesuses, but nonetheless here he is, leading the 51st Lowland Division against the Hun, apparently being led by the Jeesusofdeath. Again, not the cheeriest of Jesus, but nonetheless let us in fact get started. In reconnaissance section on the move, and again a general thing that seems to be a sort of trick is if the reconnaissance section is moving towards any specific area without taking any nearby points, that's usually also where we'll be seeing the headquarters command truck going. Numerous pioneer teams, it seems to know only 2, but the first one's not laying down the foundations down for the Wehrmacht quarters and finishing it. No, apparently Wehrmacht pioneer team number 2 shall be having the honors of that job, and now he's getting a 3rd pioneer team. So that's a bit interesting, a bit unorthodox, but then again that doesn't necessarily mean bad. We shall of course have to see, but it looks like it shall be this munitions point, which seems to be a rather common thing. At least I've seen Cheeseburglar, who I haven't seen much games from lately, or at least those he has have been so rather old, so they've just vanished in the whole stream of replays I have lying about, which makes it a bit hard to find them. Anyhow, it's not here what we're here to discuss, but that's a bit of a curious move there. Starting out not with a lieutenant but an infantry section, which of course moved terribly slow outside of friendly territory, because they're not exactly the keenest of soldiers. So there you go. I'm not entirely sure why he's doing this, and of course moving the truck through the river is also going to be a bit of a problem. Of course it's a rather slow point, which of course means he's not going to be getting a lot of fuel or munitions for quite a bit of time. He's only going to get manpower, and of course he can't make anything else. That's only going to be an advantage to the Wehrmacht if he of course knows how to suppress it with his 3rd Panzer Division. Volksgrenadiers hitting the field, and the truck plodding down right here at this munitions point. Good job, Mr. Jesus, or Death Jesus. I'll just call him J, I don't want to upset anyone. And pioneers marching about, though. Good amount of capturing going on there, of course using 3 pioneer teams. Of course, any fighting of course is going to occur. Those pioneers are going to be less than helpful at the moment. And the fuel point is secured. Might be seeing a lieutenant coming out there, or perhaps another infantry section. We shall of course have to see what is coming out from the Wehrmacht quarters. It's now an MG42. Pioneers moving towards the central area, while Volksgrenadiers and pioneers holding the west. Clearly so far no encounters, and of course no idea from either side what the other one is doing. Of course, though there's probably going to be a larger surprise for the Wehrmacht player inbound, since of course Wehrmacht headquarters can't really shift up and place themselves other places. British can, and of course that also sort of involves and implies a tactic and strategy. There we go. Lieutenant Dashing or whatever Now taking command of this infantry section and already packing it up for a second time. That seems a bit bold, and I'm not entirely sure that's going to be a good idea, but apparently he's going straight for this fuel point. Having had a brief stop at the munitions point, he's now going on for the fuel. MG42 taking up position right here at this small lonely house. What purpose it might have served, I cannot say. Perhaps a roadside inn once a long time ago, or something else, I cannot say. But Pioneers coming under fire from the infantry section and forced to retreat. This MG42 though quite a bit away, so can't really do anything to help those Pioneers. Pioneers moving in towards the south, coming into fighting with the reconnaissance section. Pioneer gets sniped and oh dear, forced to run the gauntlet of the British. Pioneer might get killed on the retreat. That's only going to be a bit of a bothersome loss right on. There we go. Pioneers are lost. The 3rd Panzer Division has lost a Pioneer team. First blood goes out to Death Jesus, or J, well, Captain J of the 51st. MG42 though getting the drop on this infantry section. Good job there. Nice building here. This one of course not so good. Why is that? Because it's made of wood, and as you might have noticed, wooden planks are not the best in stopping bullets, and of course commonly here's reflects that, so of course a wooden structure is not going to be as much protective as say a brick or concrete building. Keep that in mind. So if you're trying to hide in a shed, you don't want to be hiding there. That's actually a pretty bad maneuver all around. I don't think there's any sort of advantage for actually taking up positions in a wooden shed, perhaps, except increased sight range, but then you might as well be doing that with a Pioneer team. But I do believe that's one of the few buffs units get inside buildings. There's nothing else really. I don't think there's even a range increase. Pioneers though coming under fire. Volksgrenadiers holding the line ready to support. Pioneers going down though. Pioneers will have to retreat if they want to live to see the night or the next day. Sniper on the field now as well, with alongside a 2nd Volksgrenadier team. And looks like these Volksgrenadiers are coming into fighting with the reconnaissance section, but apparently getting out of there. British troops are pressing onwards. Volksgrenadiers taking heavy losses, and another reconnaissance section, meaning we are seeing 2 reconnaissance sections out for the 51st. 3rd Panzer Division troops holding the line. Sniper now moving in. But, oh there we go, cloaking up. You don't want to be sneaking about with an uncloaked sniper on the front line. Reconnaissance section though, apparently not told that there's an MG42 in that building, and that's again you want to coordinate, and of course you want to remember where those MG42s are. Sniper misses though, that's certainly going to haunt him, in particular if those Brits catch up with him. And oh dear, retreating, good show there, otherwise that sniper might have gotten himself into a bit of trouble there. Reconnaissance section continuing to hunt down, stopping right in front of the bunker's arc of fire, which was certainly going to be fortunate there. Reconnaissance section trying to extract itself from the arc of fire. The MG42 not retreating, so that's interesting. Volksgrenadiers though coming under fire. British troops moving in for flank on the south. MG42 might have to turn around, but of course that might allow the reconnaissance section to get up on its feet again and lead a charge. And we are seeing a small standoff here. Reconnaissance section versus Volksgrenadiers and Pioneers. And skirmish phase on the way from Ix1ion's 3rd Panzer Division. The 3rd Panzer Division, there wasn't really much special about it, albeit it had its Panzerjägerabteilung actually equipped with Bren carriers with a sort of special modified Panzerschreck, so it could fire, which sort of had a tribe mount or some sort. Rather fun bits actually. Not sure there was much else about it, but it's only fought in Normandy, and looks like these chaps are getting out of there, not keen on facing flamethrowers, snipers and Volksgrenadiers alongside that MG42. Looks like this reconnaissance section is still having a bit of tea there, not moving about, and looks like the Pioneers have gotten flamethrowers as well, certainly going to make them a greater threat to any infantry. Skirmish phase up, and looks like some further Pioneers are getting trained. No mines being laid down here, though that could actually be of help. Nor here, here, or here. In fact, there's no mines being laid down from the Wehrmacht commander. That might end up biting him in the arse in the long run, though. British troops recooperating, and looks like this field support truck is sitting up right here in this small piece of dirt right in the middle of the river to secure this munition point. A bit of an interesting move actually. Of course, would of course also prevent any harassment there, and of course ensure things are connected. So that could be the sort of consideration there. And looks like we perhaps might be seeing a flanking maneuver on this heavy machine gun, but no, apparently everything is falling apart. Troops are getting gunned down on all sides and forced into a full retreat. And an infantry team is lost somewhere. Looks like it was the sniper who ran into the British. That's what you call an unfortunate move. And I'm not entirely sure if he was keeping an eye on it, because there was also action down there. So of course he might have stumbled into the British troops and gone, oh shit, and then got shot. That certainly is a slightly unfortunate fate for any sniper. But Krieg Barracks is now up, ready for a bit of Krieg. Looks like the British reconnaissance section is continuing its harassment, trying to cut off this bit of territory, and currently the Wehrmacht are certainly holding most of the territory. But the British are also digging in, and looks like we are seeing a mortar emplacement right here going to cover this spot. Might also be able to bombard this MG position in the house. Could certainly put off a lot of pressure there and allow the British to break through in that sector. And flamethrowers and Volkskrone is moving in. MG bunker right here, but still he hasn't taken this victory point, which is a bit awkward. Volkskrone is charging these chaps though, and we are seeing Blitzkrieg being chosen. So we'll probably be seeing some stormtroopers perhaps soon, or perhaps assault grenades, but apparently not. Flamethrowers scorching the reconnaissance troops are now forced out of cover. Might take up position in that old empty barn. But then again, with a flamethrower nearby, taking up positions in old empty barns is generally not the best of ideas. Although these larger barns do provide some cover actually. But again, small wooden sheds, no. Large empty barns, yes, because there's large and empty, and of course a lot of things to actually miss. Plus who knows, they might be less empty in terms of things that can be used as cover internally. Old farming implements, bags of grain, who knows. Sheep. And mortar pit though coming under fire. That's a bit unfortunate there. Of course nicely spotted by the Wehrmacht commander, and of course nice flank there. Flamethrowers moving in, scorching it. Reconnaissance troops, numerous flamethrowers now in fact, and looks like a Stuart has hit the field, my goodness. Mortar emplacement cleared out. And MG42 inside the building is getting bombarded, and might get a visit from the Stuart light tank now. We're also seeing the commander is up, giving increased rate of vision. Stormtroopers hitting the field. No Panzer on the way. Pack though is on the field. Stuart coming under quite a bit of fire. MG42 inside in a lot of trouble. And a crate goes up in smoke, but unless that crate was British, I don't really think that was doing much. Mortar pit has been recruited by some heroic British chaps. Although probably not Duffy, as he can't be trusted with anything except holding a rifle, it seems. Looks like the German commander has finally gone around to securing the central victory point. I'm still surprised he didn't get about to that a bit earlier. Stormtroopers now equipped with Panzer, and oh dear, he's going with a dual Panzer. That's never really been my favorite, since of course while it can of course allow you to get a lot of firepower off in one go, of course if some dies, there's also going to be a much higher chance of actually dropping a Panzer, and of course less infantry efficiency. So I've never really been much of this putting all your eggs in one stormtrooper colored basket. And looks like this mortar pit might be cleared out. There we go, mortar pit, kaboom, sandbags and bodies everywhere. And in fact, let's go have a look at Captain J. D, and looks like we have some saboteurs with Piats. And the Stuart is certainly not in a good position, perhaps pulling away, just not wanting to be near any sort of stormtrooper business. Saboteurs moving in, British troops with Bren guns, and looks like these Volkskrone are getting torn apart. Again, Bren guns are something you actually want to avoid. Those are dangerous LMGs, unlike say the LMG42. Still sadly. But opening up there with a nice bit of firepower, tearing apart these Volkskrone, and why they aren't retreating is beyond me. They're standing out in the open in the face of automatic fire LMGs. That's absolutely the worst idea you can. There we go, retreating. Stormtroopers also retreating. Apparently not deciding to conduct some sort of assault. Now Pioneers are moving in without support into the... Oh, bother. That was really a botched up assault there. Not entirely sure how those Stormtroopers got uncloaked. But if they were able to drop one bundle grenade there, they could really allow those Pioneers to get close, but no. Apparently everything went pear-shaped right there. And MG42 on the move, packed still in a nice overwatch position. Nothing coming out of the field support truck. And there we go, assault grenades, but on the recon section, not on the more dangerous Bren gun section, which is now tearing through those unfortunate Volksgrenadiers with their rather dangerous Bren guns. And there we go, one Volksgrenadier already down, and looks like the other ones are going to have a nasty fate. MG42 opening up to support them, but really I'd get those Volksgrenadiers out of there, just in case, since they are going to need some dire reinforcements. No veterans up for the Wehrmacht commander though. Recon section moving in, might snipe the gunner, there we go. Volksgrenadiers are still not pulling out. Bren section though, pinned down. Pioneers moving in with flamethrowers to support, and this Bren section is really looking in bad shape. Pioneers on the spot, might get lost though very shortly. And there we go, recon section forcing the MG42 to retreat, but now the Bren section is gone. And veterans we want for the Lieutenant Stormtroopers moving in, dual Panzer Shreks, again not the best choice. Although I suppose they might get some lucky shot with those Panzer Shreks. No, missing quite ruefully. Bundle grenade going off though, killing quite a few British troops, and this recon section might be lost. Or he might just barely escape the stormtroopers of the 12th SS being sent in to support the 3rd Panzer Division, who is not really relying on their own grenadiers. Kampfkraft sent on the way, just what the Wehrmacht doctor ordered. And another... no, that's the Stuart Light Tank which got repaired. There wasn't another one. But commandos now landing right there. Oh dear, right at the pack. That's certainly going to end up very badly. Stuart though got blown up rather quickly though. Pack shot, and of course Panzer Shreks, nasty combination for any piece of armor, in particular if it's light. And now commandos are tearing through the stormtroopers, get out of there. Oh dear, and commandos dropping another grenade, a grenade on those other stormtroopers. Volksgrenadiers the only ones to hold the line against the stormtroopers who are charging at the Volksgrenadiers, and the Volksgrenadiers are getting absolutely torn apart by the Sten guns of the commandos. The commandos doing an absolutely terrific job. Bang up there, 12 dead in seconds. That's certainly quite a bit of efficiency. So good there, usage there of the commandos. Second Volksgrenadier team, which did not support in the original engagement. That's actually a bit of bad move there. You generally want to support your troops, but there we go, killing a few commandos and forcing the last two to get the devil out of there before they're torn apart by the Jerrys. Captain coming under fire from the Hun, actual fire, a fire-breathing Hun, I suppose, or just one with the flamethrower. And the captain catches on fire. His snappy leather jacket does nothing against the heat. Armored command track on the way. So we might be seeing some Cromwells, we might be seeing Staghounds, Kangaroos, command tanks, or Fireflies. Who knows? And the Sturmhaubitze is on the field. Stu 42, master of blowing things up, if it's not a Dutch shell, of course. British chaps nearby, although heavily wounded. Pierce though could act as a sort of deterrent temporarily. But this Stu 42 really looks like it's going to have quite the day. And looks like to be taking up aim at this field support truck, which I do believe is not built to really last against howitzer shells. Or apparently it was. That's howitzer shell, that's right next to it, so it must have been just a compressed air shell. British charging in. Stu 42. Rear armor exposed. If those zappers moved in, that could easily end up badly, but no, they're not there. And of course, oh dear, he's placed it right in the water, and of course that also means really slow turning speed. Assault being dropped on the reconnaissance section. Stu 42 opens up. Volksgrenadiers might be torn apart. Oh dear, that was not a good move. Stu 42 finally getting out of the water. Commandos dropping in there, clearing out the Pioneer there, and Stu 42 opening up here. Stormtroopers moving in. Both. No, only one of them dual Panzer, but of course the other one might also get that. Stu 42 continuing the hunt and taking several Piet shots to the front. That was absolutely terrible, but managed to kill 3 sappers with 1 shot, so that's only going to clear things out a bit. Stormtrooper engagement. I do believe we are halfway through the game, so let's in fact just have a mid-game analysis. What is the situation? Well, currently the Wehrmacht is launching one hell of an attack on the British last position. Well, not really, but it's really where the headquarters command truck is. Only thing to hold them back. Bren gun section, commandos, And the lieutenant is not looking too happy, and some sappers, or well, one sapper with a Piat who's probably not very happy about this. Stormtroopers in assault, red lights flashing, that's really a bad thing. And of course that bit, which of course means assault on the way, rather nice bit there. Stu 42 heavily damaged. How shall this go? Of course, if the British commander can survive this and might even be able to do some heavy casualties, he might in fact be able to turn the tide because, oh right, he also has these commanders who cause complete haywire behind the German lines, and there's absolutely nothing to hold them back here. Although looks like a solid Volkskonvolut force is on the way to put a stop to this silly business. So we shall have to see. But really, the British are under a lot of pressure. If the Germans push through here and succeed, then I'm pretty sure that's going to be it. But of course, he can just retreat here, and those assault grenades will be useless. They will be wasted. That's of course the prime way of just avoiding assault: retreat. Or if you're in a building, get out of the building, and it's immediately wasted. That's 50 munitions out the window and into the pond. So let's have a look at Ix1ion, and let's look as his assault moves in. Looks like all stormtroopers are in fact launching it. And charging right at them. Commandos just blasting away. And, yes, stunning his own troops. That might actually be the trick there. And one stormtrooper team is lost. That was absolutely unfortunate. And the other one makes it out of there, gaining the second Panzer strike. And looks like an infantry section was lost, but the commandos and the sappers are still there. Commandos using a bit of smoke like a magician, except most magicians don't have Sten guns and grenades, and will appear right next to you after that smoke and kill you. And looks like this 242 went too far. Of course, one thing to note about Piats, they are one of the only anti-tank weapon which does not fire rocket. It's sort of a spring mortary thing, and that of course means it fires in a parabolic arc. What does this mean? It actually means it can fly over the frontal armor of your tank and hit the rear, which of course means it's going to have a lot easier time penetrating and do some nasty damage. Misses the Piats. Oh dear. Commandos marching in. Stewart on the retreat. Stormtroopers lost again, dropping a Panzer for the second time. Commandos with the Panzer penetrating the front arm of the Stu 42 is a lost cause, out of control, and into the Bourgebus. Lost for all ages. And Volkskonvolut running right into the arc of fire of the Mechas machine gun. That's really going to turn that thing into a mess, and of course leave them open for a nice counterattack from the commandos. Getting a second Stu 42. Now that commandos have a Panzer, that's going to be a bad move. And now the commanders are absolutely tearing through these Volkskonvolut. One Volkskonvolut team is lost. My goodness, that's absolutely, this is a complete disaster for the 3rd Panzer Division. 4 infantry teams lost in minutes. 2 Volkskonvolut, 2 stormtroopers. That's, oh dear, and only has 1 Volkskonvolut team. A pioneer team, an MG42, and of course that's Stu 42, but oh. They are now going for the skirmish phase, but that's really going to give the British a lot of time to counter-attack, counter-maneuver, and of course seize everything on this little map. Well, not really little. And pioneers moving in, apparently unawares that there is a commando team nearby, rather keen on killing any Huns. Sappers getting reinforced once more. That's interesting. He has an armor command truck, but he's not really using it. Now the Stu 42 comes under fire. Looks like that was a nice frontal shot from the Panzer. Of course, now one commander goes down, and the Stu 42 does a nice, clever thing here. Puts into the protective valve of that MG42 inside the base. Why he didn't pull that MG42 into the assault on the base is a bit beyond me. That could actually have helped things, as it would actually have suppressed the buggers, as they were of course out in the open. I might actually have saw him through, but no, apparently he just decided to have it in a defensive mode instead of using it for the final assault, which rather cost him a lot, as you might have noticed by now. Commandos charging in. Volkskonvolut is the only thing to hold the line with the Stu 42 in support. Stu 42 opening up, and it absolutely misses. Commandos taking in fact a few losses though from the Volkskonvolut as they try to get out of there. And the commando team number 2 got those pioneers. Again, he seems to be losing a lot of pioneers down there. And sappers now moving in. Recon section also nearby. Volkskonvolut taking quite a bit of fire. Getting out of there. And going straight for the battle phase. So we are going to release some actual panzers for the 21st Panzer Division, of the 3rd Panzer Division, not the 21st. And looks like we are going to see some British troops taking up positions here, coming under the aegis of the MG42. They're taking quite a bit of fire. Stu-42 opening up as well. Artillery going in though, right on the building there. Oh my goodness, 2 extremely accurate shots causes the entire thing to crumble, killing the entire MG42 team in the process. That's absolutely unfortunate. That's really going to cut things short for the Wehrmacht commander. No MG42 to actually support him, and of course nothing to ensure that Stu-42 isn't rushed by any infantry with anti-tank assets. Sappers taking quite a bit of fire, but they are surviving. Not much luck with the first volley. One Sapper is lost, and a Cromwell is on the move. Oh goodness gracious, the Stu-42 cannot last against that. Sapper's getting stunned, forced to retreat, but that Stu-42 is in absolute trouble. Cromwell, and now Commandos with a Panzer Shrek. Oh dear. Volksgrenadier is getting torn apart by the Commandos as well. Oh, this is not looking good. In fact, 3rd Panzer Division has lost pretty much everything except a single pioneer team. There is no armor, there is no infantry, there's no anti-tank. There is absolutely nothing. And looks like this pack is in fact crashed beyond that recovery due to that glider. That can happen a bit. Panzer Command up, might get a Tiger though. In fact, could get it right away if he cancels that Panzer Command from being constructed. But no, apparently he is waiting most patiently. Cromwell for some reason pulling out, of course suspecting that might be something nearby, but of course there is nothing. And Commanders really pushing the efforts, taking all they can. And of course no mind says this Cromwell can also move about freely and knock out that bunker, which of course has nothing to do against a Cromwell tank with its 75mm cannon. And this bunker is really in a lot of trouble. No stairs though. And going straight for a Panzer IV instead of going for a Tiger when he... Oh, bother. That's really a good sign. That's really a good sign. And also veterancy for his armor now. I really think the Tiger would have been the better choice in this case. Bunker lost, so it's most of the Wehrmacht territory at the moment.
We're losing territory. Our supply lines are broken.
And getting further veterancy up for his tanks. My goodness. Cromwell tank. One tank and a long line of British cruiser tanks. The Crusader being one of the earlier versions, of course looked a bit more distinct. There were also some other ones, but they didn't really have much of a name. They well, things like the A13, I believe, which fought during the fighting in France in 1940. They were actually pretty thinly armored, though they did have a 40mm gun. Panzer IV on the move. Veterancy 2 could stand up to this Cromwell, but then again, a single Panzer shot I might not be so cheery.
We're losing a sector.
Pioneers moving out to see some territory. Commanders moving in to put a stop to that. Panzer IV perhaps watching over, but apparently not close enough. Commanders moving in. Pioneers really need to get out of there. Come on, Ix1ion. There we go. Panzer IV moving in to support. Killing one commander, but those Pioneers will get lost. Oh! He just lost another Pioneer team again. Absolutely no infantry. Nothing to seize territory or secure victory points. Commanders opening up on the Panzer IV. Panzer IV firing back in return. Panzer shot does not penetrate the frontal armor. Still no infantry. There we go, Pioneers. And another Panzer IV. Why do I have a bad feeling about this? Stand count on the way as well, so I suspect we might be seeing some Fireflies. And of course, the Fireflies will have an easier time with those Panzer IVs as long as Mr. J does not charge his Fireflies at the Panzer IVs. Fireflies are not really made for frontline combat. They were made to sort of support other tanks and blast the snot out of any piece of heavy armor with that excellent 17-pounder gun. Pride of the British Army. Panzer IV though on the move, protecting these pioneers. Second Panzer IV on the move, but really no Tigers. It looks like those two Panzer IVs might fall into a lot of trouble. But again, I really have to say this rather turned against him as soon as he poorly managed his infantry. And of course now just relying on armor is also going to bite him on the ass. And looks like the Firefly is moving closer. Cromwell opening up. Pioneers will need to get back. Panzer IVs advancing forwards perhaps. Yes, yes. Commandos smoking up. Panzer IVs taking a bit of fire from all sides. Fireflies, Panzerschrecks, Piets, Cromwell, all moving in, firing away at the Panzer IV. Down to half health already. Veterans 1 does provide some protection, but in the long run it won't do much. Firefly continues the hunt for the Panzer IV. Not the Red October though. And one Panzer IV is already gravely damaged. Pioneers pulling back to repair, but this Panzer IV will not do well either against this. Misses with the next shot. Oh dear. Firefly continues in. No support from the Cromwell though. The Cromwell could really be of help here. Second Panzer IV no. Firefly apparently misses everything now. There we go. Panzer IV moving in right in front of the Firefly though. And the Firefly gets the shot off, but the Panzer IV does not. And now the Firefly though gets into a nasty position, coming under concentrated fire from the Panzer IVs. Now taking quite a bit of damage again. Fireflies are not really made as sort of Panther equivalents. They're meant to knock them out, but they're not meant to fight like them. And this Firefly looks in pretty poor shape, in fact. And there we go, getting supremely punished for it. But Panzer IV taking heavy damage from the Piet and Cromwells. Oh dear. Firefly knocked out. Sappers might also get killed. But those Panzer IVs really need to do something. Tiger on the field, my goodness. A Tiger, but still nothing to really take points. And what is this? 17-pounder up to protect this spot. What will Mr. Ix1ion do? What will he do? Will he lead the charge, or will he just muck about and do absolutely nothing? Second Firefly on the field.
Will be providing us HQ glider support.
Nothing else, so the Tiger apparently decides to have a small vacation instead of trying to push the advantage, perhaps try to knock out that Cromwell. And of course no victory points for the 3rd Panzer Division at the moment. Things are really looking grim and slim, and the way he's playing it is certainly not helping. Getting another Pioneer team. Blitzkrieg assault being made ready. Although I'm not entirely sure that's going to be much help now. Firefly setting up here. Should be able to do quite a nice bit of damage. Of course it needs to be pulling back slowly though as the Panzers advance. If they ever advance, of course they've taken quite a bit of damage. Oh dear, and looks like the Staghound continues to watch over these commandos as they push forward. All quiet here as the 51st are having a nice break, taking what they can, and waiting for the Panzers to make a breakout attempt. But it doesn't look like they will. Panzer IV number 2 getting repaired, the other one though looks pretty beaten up. And commandos with Panzerschrecks also doing a bit of harassment. Again, things are not looking good for Ix1ion, and he's way too passive. He's not even reacting to that. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's just speed this up until he actually makes a bloody move, if he ever does. There we go, the assault is on the move. Panzer IV charging in. Tiger also lurching into movement. Oh, balls. His Panzer IV, the lead one, is caught in an ambush. Panzer takes on one side, Piet on the other, and a Firefly and a Cromwell. The Panzer IV is getting chewed apart from all sides. This is an absolute ill maneuver. Panzer IV number 1 might get lost. There we go. Cromwell knocks it out. Tiger, though, opens up. Knocks out that wooden ship. But that was not really what needed it to be knocked out. Panzer IV number 2 still there, though. Commander's getting scorched by flamethrowers. Another Firefly hitting the field. The Panzers are not pushing forwards. Oh, there we go. And now getting an Ix1ion. My goodness, he's still not getting any infantry. He's still not doing anything to actually seize a single victory point and slow down the draining of victory point. And the Commandos tear apart all those pioneers. Again losing all its infantry. And even support infantry. Panzer Force and Tiger, though, moving forwards. 17-pounder opening up, though. Firefly and a 17-pounder. Blitzkrieg assault. Increases the rate of fire, but I don't really think that's going to be the key to victory here. Panzer IV number 1 lost. Or number 2, well. Tiger is the only thing left. Oh dear, and it stops right in front of this 17-pounder. No. No, dear, no. And I'm pretty sure there's one that's going to be going to the eastern front there. That's an absolutely criminal waste of Panzer resources. And the Tiger is gone, and Ix1ion gets out of there, rather trying to escape before the Feldjäger catch up with him and post him on the eastern front. So there you go. A rather different game. We saw some good action from the Wehrmacht plane in the beginning. He seemed to have control of it, but then he made that sort of get lots of Panzer for the Stormtroopers, make frontal assault and get torn apart maneuver. And it was just absolutely horrific. If he, for example, used the MG42, though, he could have changed it, but no, he just lost his Stormtroopers in an absolutely disgraceful way. Waste of Stormtroopers, waste of Panzer. In fact, he gave up one, and then he proceeded to lose 2 Volksgrenadier teams to a Commando team as well. Lost a lot of infantry, did not replace it, just went for armor, which of course wasn't able to pull things through in the end. I mean, this is really the key element in showing what, hey, he's doing so much things wrong. Why didn't his infantry support his armor? Why didn't he retreat his infantry? His infantry preservation was absolutely horrific. The British commander, on the other hand, did better. Of course, things were very close, and it was probably due to that mistake right here that he was able to push things through. But he was, on the other hand, able to capitalize. He was able to push through, take a lot of territory. He didn't just sit back, tweak his thumbs. He kept pushing, he kept being aggressive, and of course that won him the game. So there you go. Good job, Mr. J. So I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying, do remember to have some infantry. Cheers.